Hey, how's it going? Welcome, YouTube. I'm Mike. Welcome to Moto Test. So this channel is dedicated to just testing bikes. We have friends with bikes, dealerships that we deal with bikes. We're just gonna go and grab what bikes we can and take them for a ride and see what we think. I've been riding and racing since the 80s, so basically just average. And honestly, what you do in racing doesn't really matter. What matters is how much you love motorcycles. So let's go test ride a motorcycle. And today's episode is brought to you by Scorpion Helmets. So yeah, let's have fun and let's go for a ride. See you soon.
Well, first impression here. This is my buddy's bike that we borrowed today. It's a 2023 KLR 650 Adventure. It's noisy. You can just hear random sounds, which is interesting. And this is a pretty nice little bag he's got here. However, if you ride a motorcycle, whether it's an adventure bike, a dual sport, a trail bike, cruiser, touring bike, and you don't run a quad lock yet, what is wrong with you? Get yourself a quad lock. It's the best phone setup on a motorcycle. Alright, we'll catch up with you when we get closer to the trail. Alright, well, let's try and talk, right? Because that's a good sign of how loud is the motorcycle. We could talk about the parameters of this. Plus, my wife hates it when I talk without a mic. So, we'll see how that goes. But I can tell you, riding just from the house to right here, as we head out towards the trail, this big old monstrosity, I mean the windshield isn't very big, but the today's bike is the 2023 KLR 650 Adventure. I'm sure if you clicked on the video, you know what the differences are between the KLR Adventure, but we can go through them. It comes with this bar with the extra lights mounted on it, auxiliary lights. It looks like he never took the plastic off these. It has panniers stock. He has lost the toolkit and cover, I can see. It's got USB plugs and a power outlet. And the color, right? The color is part of the Adventure package. This particular one has a little over 500 miles on it. Oh, it has crash bars. Well, the owner of this bike subscribes to the fact that it's a dirt bike, dual sport. It's meant to have dirt on it, so he's not a big washer. But so far I'm actually really impressed with the bike. I've never really ridden one very much and got to bring it out here. So looking forward to getting out on the trail and riding it some more. I guess a little bit of the exhaust note from the stock exhaust is pretty basic. Normal thumper single, so it does have the stock exhaust. Let's head up this trail, see what we can see. The bike actually feels relatively clickable, quick handling. Definitely got better suspension than the 300, that's for sure. I don't like the foot pegs, I can tell you that. Standing on them with motocross boots, they're not great. But and they feel like I don't know, they feel like they're in a weird position as far as, I don't even know, almost like down angled. So lots of Wyoming rocks. So the KLR 650 Adventure, I can put some stats up in a picture or something, but 650 single, fuel injected, still runs conventional forks, but conventional forks aren't as bad as everyone likes to make them out to be. So, and they blow forks just a whole lot less, so that's always a nice feature. It does have the panniers on them. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the liters are, so I can stick that up there. I don't think that these would be a great fit for a BDR. I think that you would need a bigger bag to do something like that, but I don't even know how to open the thing. There you go. He's got his paperwork in there, apparently. I just don't think they have like moto camping capacity, so maybe that's a consideration if you're looking at one of these. Maybe you don't need the Adventure, you could just get a regular one and then put Tusk panniers on it, because Tusk makes a slew of parts for this motorcycle. But it's a 650 single, fuel injected. It actually cruises real nice. I ride a CRF 300L Rally, which eventually you'll see on the channel, and the section that we did on the road coming up, if I start the road at the bottom at 70, by the time I get to the top, I'm into the 50s. So this has more than enough power. I know this bike has been compared a lot to being a beginner adventure bike. However, I don't think that's the case. Like, I'm nowhere near a beginner rider. I think maybe this is the budget conscious adventure bike. And I'm confident, and we'll find out in a second, I'm pretty sure this bike will do more in trails than a GS 1350, than any of these big, huge, even a Transalp or any of that stuff. It's more capable in the woods and less on the street. But that's really what a dual sport is, or maybe even, you know, what an adventure bike should be. They're all street bikes retrofitted to work in the woods, where this is a dirt bike retrofitted to work on the road. And I think the dirt bike maybe offers a little bit more adventure than a street bike that's been made to go off-road. But that's my opinion. Doesn't have to be yours. So let's get going on this trail. These tires aren't great. The foot pegs aren't great, but they're both stuck. So you kind of know that. Like, nobody puts good foot pegs on stuck from the factory. And Nobody puts good tires at all most of the time. Shoot, I race motocross, and I know that they come with MX-34s. I don't really care for that. I like the 34 front, but a lot of times, especially in the Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska area where I do most of my riding, see, that's where the tires are an issue, is the like off camber stuff right there. Like going on the side of a hill, you can feel them starting to slide down and wash. Yeah, and on a bike this heavy, I'll be honest with you, not a super fun feeling. This is definitely the ABS model though. That we use as a reference and timing. I guess we'll start from this corner and go up to the hill to the next corner. Like I said, these aren't my motorcycles, half of them, so we're not gonna go crazy, but we'll have fun. Most bikes that are dual sport or adventure wise need risers for the handlebars for when you're standing. If it's not a dirt bike, they're usually not in a great position. And you can change that with going to a higher bend, adding risers to bring it up. I think this bike is decent, or a lot better than most bikes. Perhaps just a higher handlebar bend would work on the KLR 650 versus rising speed. That being said, I'm only 5'9". If you're above my height, I'd definitely go with the riser. It's easy. Woo, 60. Nice. We're out here trying to make these things into trail slayers. That's not what they are. They're dual sports. In the rally's case, maybe you could classify that as a light adventure bike, but that's not what the motorcycle is designed for. I don't want to make a motorcycle something it's not. I want to ride the motorcycle the way it was designed to be ridden, in the scenario in which it was designed to be ridden. Was this bike designed for this? I think so. And also cruising the road, right? But that's just my little spiel on that. This, I would have loved this over that CB last year. This would be so much more enjoyable for adventure riding. It's crazy. Well, that's the end of this trail. We'll ride back and we'll stop and give you an overview of what we thought. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you'll like and subscribe and share the video. But we had a fun little ride. I actually really enjoyed this thing, so we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Oh, so what did we think of the KLR 650? I loved it, actually. It's a little intimidating with how heavy it is. Obviously, I'm an off-road racer by my normal stature, I guess, and I don't ride a lot of these heavier bikes, and I was a little worried with the weight. I have ridden a CB 500X off-road. I ride a CRF 300 Rally off-road. I've rode plenty of bikes that weren't dirt bikes or off-road bikes off-road, but I was a little concerned about how she would go. But man, I love that thing. It was so fun to ride in the woods. It handled way better than I thought, so super fun bike. I think a lot of times this bike is listed as a beginner bike, but I don't know that it is necessarily that. Sometimes the people call it beginner bikes because it's low on power, but I mean, it's not really low on power as far as in the dirt, number one. Obviously a GS has got more power and stuff like that, but I think that the height could possibly be a little bit intimidating in the woods for a new rider. But I think, honestly, what I think is this is a budget-friendly beginner bike, you know? So somebody like me who has 7-8 bikes and wanted a bike a little bit more capable than my 300L, I think this bike would be a perfect fit, and I'm not blowing $20,000, $30,000, you know. Like in the case of something like a GS or a Harley Pan America, like these bikes are 20 plus up into the 30s in some instances. So I liked it. It was a good bike. Check out how it scored in the test, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.